a group of women on a mission to make an inclusive and safe rideshare company on today's In This Together, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Hey y'all, and welcome to In This Together. I'm Alejandro Alba. Rideshare apps have had a huge impact on the way people get from point A to point B. And this Black-owned, women-led rideshare company is making sure passengers safely get to their destinations in the Portland area. After spending years as a rideshare driver, Trinell Doyle founded Go Girl Ride to make rideshares more safe for women and LGBTQ+ people.
I was an Uber driver. I did that for a few years. And a lot of women would get in my car and they would say a couple of things. First, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, your car is so clean." And they would compliment me on my customer service and also just say, "Thank God you are a woman." And then they would share really negative stories and experiences that they had with it being either like a creepy, awkward driver, or they would share their stories about them being sexually assaulted and harassed. As a driver, I was sexually harassed, and I just kind of got used to having inappropriate and uncomfortable, situations all the time. And so I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I had the idea right away where I was like, I wish there was a ride service that focused on safety for women. I was like, ooh, I think the name should be Go Girl, because I don't know, you hear You Go Girl. And we kind of had that moment and was like, yes. And so that's how Go Girl Ride was formed.
CFO and Executive Administrator Lachelle Harris says Go Girl Ride prioritizes giving back to those most in need in their local community.
We're definitely reaching out to shelters or senior citizens that need to get from point A to point B. We're working and partnering with a company called the Cupcake Girls, and they specifically work with sex workers. We're also going to be working hopefully with some governmental agencies, and then in partnership with maybe hospitals.
Important that we have a strong start, and so we can establish ourselves well in Portland. From Portland, we'll expand to other cities most impacted by sex work, essentially sex trafficking, and sex violence.
Despite hurdles when it comes to raising money, the community has been there to support Go Girl Ride.
And folks are reaching out globally. Folks are really grasping onto what we're doing and believe in it. It means so much. We are absolutely intentional. We're minorities in this group in so many different ways. We're taking meetings like the City of Portland Bureau of Transportation. Folks are really excited about what we're doing. And so the biggest hurdle for us and what we're figuring out now is just getting the funds so that we can actually do this. We are in a space that, not only are Black folks grossly underfunded, but women, we get like a fraction of the funding as women that, men often receive. And so with this being uncharted territory, funding has been the biggest challenge. That has been our biggest holdup.
And Go Girl Ride will launch in Portland on Juneteenth to honor the history of Black Americans.
But it's really important to me that I honor our folks. And in a country that doesn't really make that much space and make that much room for us, especially with the racial climate and just the tension and everything that has been going on. I want us to be known for, being radical, being progressive, for the advocacy and for the protesting that our people do. To me, it's monumental to launch a company that I think really is going to change this industry and change the way that rideshare and transportation is done. Our slogan is, "We meet you where you are." That means that you can be your authentic self. You don't have to change who you are. It's really important to me that when I look back on the day that we got Wheels on the Road, that I can be like, yeah, and we launched that on Juneteenth. That we launched that when our people found out we free. In a time where often I don't feel free. You know what I mean? It's to me, it's just a reminder that regardless, we persist and we go and we continue. And for me, the way that I do that is by, marking such a, momentous day on such an important day for Black American and honestly for this world, for our culture.
I want to thank Cricket Wireless for sponsoring this episode. In honor of Black Music Month this June, Cricket is amplifying and empowering HBCU marching bands to celebrate their legacies and keep them going strong. Follow Cricket on social media to learn more about how Cricket is championing community and connection for Black Music Month. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. And remember, we're all in this together.